if you watch anime, then you are committing idolatry. No real Christian would honestly partake in watching anime because it causes you to sin. It causes you to stumble. Anime makes you worship false gods. Therefore, you're accidentally breaking the first and second commandment. So don't watch anime. I fooled you all. You should not be watching anime at all. This is not a Christian commentary channel. Okay, so I got this comment on a video about Demon Slayer that I did about 9 months ago. It's actually kind of wild that I've been doing this content thing for like a year now. So shout out for all you guys that have been rocking with me since then, right? But I got this comment saying that that video about Demon Slayer was basically idolatry, and the comment was pretty much saying that my whole channel was an idolatry factory. He even followed up by saying that because I have an Uzui coffee mug that I'm sipping some coffee out of right now, that I'm messing up and committing idolatry, and that I shouldn't be doing that. That like my interests, the things that I like to do, the things I like to watch, the things I like to take, concepts in anime and relate them to the Christian story, like those things shouldn't be the case, right? I should just be like every other Christian content creator that talks about Mike Todd every other week. I don't know if this person watched my channel or that video or any other videos that I've made, but I didn't understand where I was committing idolatry in. And maybe that person was a troll, or maybe that person just didn't care to watch my videos. I don't know the motives of that comment, right? But somehow watching and doing video analysis of anime means I'm committing idolatry, which I'm having a hard time trying to figure out why. I find this trend with some Christian people who don't like something and end up chalking it up to someone sinning or disobeying the Lord because of their own convictions, right? I've done this in a various amount of videos that I don't want to go back to those things. You can watch, should Christians watch anime, that video that will pop up on the screen right there, or any of those other videos that talks about convictions and what should and shouldn't Christians do. Now, there's some thoughts that I have on this person's comments, but first I want to unpack with you guys, what does the Bible actually say about idolatry? Because when people leave comments like this, I don't think they necessarily understand what idolatry is. But before I get into that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, let's jump into it. Okay, Webster's Dictionary's definition of idolatry: the worship of a physical object as a god, a moderate attachment or devotion to something. To flesh this out a little bit more, when it comes to idolatry, is the first and second commandment in the Bible that states, "You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourselves an image in the form of anything in heaven above, or on earth beneath, or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them. There is one true God in the heavens and the earth. There are none that exist except him." When God delivered the Israelites from slavery in Egypt, he made a covenant with them, i.e. the 10 Commandments, to love the Lord and him alone by obeying him. And as you read the biblical story, you can constantly see that instead of the Israelites being committed to God, they constantly turn their back on him and worship other gods. This is one of the reasons that you see in the biblical story the Israelites down bad literally all the time, because they keep deserting the only one that can give them true life and freedom, but they keep running back to idols and false gods that overpromise and never deliver. It's kind of like how we are today. Today, although most of us aren't committing idolatry with physical statues, we can commit idolatry with our own lives. Our money, social media, friendship, sexuality can all be idols because we seek to have these things fill us and serve our selfish desires to give us ultimate fulfillment. Idols seek to give us the things that we want because every idol ever made serves our fleshly and carnal desires. Now that we got that out the way, I want to ask the question, does this channel commit idolatry? Is it wrong for me to take the anime that I watch and you watch and pull out relatable themes to try and point the online anime community to the good news of Jesus? I don't think so. First, let's get this clear. I'm not and I do not worship anime. Like, what are we talking about? I like watching anime. I like seeing a story come together and have a satisfying ending. I enjoy amazing fight scenes. I enjoy great character development. I love how a lot of characters that we see in anime can be relatable to our own lives and what we go through, hence anime relatable. But ultimately, I know anime doesn't satisfy my soul. Anime didn't die on the cross for my sins. Anime can't save me, but I do believe it can be used as a tool to pull on the deepest longings of a person's soul that ultimately point to Jesus, which is ultimately what this channel is about. Literally, the only reason that this channel exists is to take the relatable themes that people see in anime in hopes to point people to the good news of Jesus. Now, I do know that there are people that idolize anime out there, of course, right? Some people have their whole lives revolve around anime. Like, literally, that's all they know. Shoot, there's some people that gain their spirituality from anime, which is kind of weird, but this is not that. I got a whole life outside of anime. Anime is like 2 or 3% of that, right? Either this person that left this comment just decided to ignore and not watch that whole video or any other video on this channel, or this person maybe doesn't understand what idolatry is. And second, if I'm committing idolatry, then Paul in Acts 17, what do we do with him? Right? So we're going to do the first ever anime relatable Bible study on this channel. Now, while Paul was waiting for them at Athens, his spirit was provoked within him as he saw that the city was full of idols. So he reasoned in the synagogue with the Jews and the devout persons in the marketplace every day with those who happened to be there. Some of the Epicurean and Stoic philosophers also conversed with him, and some said, "What does this babbler wish to say?" Others said, "He seems to be a preacher of foreign divinities," because he was preaching Jesus and the resurrection. And they took him and brought him to the Areopagus, saying, "May we know what this new teaching is that you are presenting? For you bring some strange things to our ears. We wish to know, therefore, what these things mean." Now all the Athenians and the foreigners who lived there would spend their time in nothing except telling or hearing something new. So Paul, standing in the midst of the Areopagus, said, "Men of Athens, have perceived that in every way you are very religious. For as I passed along and observed the objects you worship, I found also an altar with this inscription, 'To the unknown God. What therefore you worship as unknown, this I proclaim to you. The God who made the world and everything in it, being Lord of heaven and earth, does not live in temples made by man, nor is he served by human hands as though he needed anything, since he himself gives to all mankind life, breath, and everything. And he made from one man every nation of mankind to live on all the face of the earth, having determined allotted periods and the boundaries of their dwelling place, that they should seek God, and perhaps feel their way towards him, and find him. Yet he is actually not far from each of us. For in him we live and move and have our being, as some of your own poets have said. For we are indeed his offspring. Being then God's offspring, we ought to not think that the divine being is like gold or silver or stone, an image formed by art and imagination of man. The times of ignorance God overlooked, but now he commands all people everywhere to repent, because he has fixed a day on which he will judge the world in righteousness by a man whom he has appointed, and of this he has given assurance to all by raising him from the dead." Now when they heard of the resurrection of the dead, some mocked, but others said, "We will hear you again about this." But so Paul went out from their midst, but some men joined him and believed, among whom also were Dionysius the Areopagite, and a woman named Damaris, and others with them. So what's happening here, right? You understand what Paul is doing. Paul, he sees that these people who are philosophers and debaters and very religious, and he goes to a place where people work out religious matters and debates. It's sort of like Twitter, where they're duking it out, they're trying to figure out, they're trying to have discussions. He tells them in a city full of idols that all of these idols here are not real, but Jesus is the one true God that they should believe. And you know what's significant? Paul doesn't just go into his speech guns blazing, knocking everything over and telling them that they're wrong and going to hell. Sure, he could do that. But he does something else. Out of all the idols that he sees, he uses their Greek statue, an idol to the unknown God, and he uses it to tell them about Jesus and who the actual true God is. By the standard that this commentator has for me, he would probably have to condemn Paul as well, because he used that something that was an actual idol to that culture and flipped it on his head to point to the hope of Jesus. And you know what's crazy? Some people made fun of Paul. Some people wrote him off. Some people were interested in hearing what Paul again had to say about Jesus and the resurrection. And then some people came out of their idol worship and believed in the Lord Jesus. Listen, I know with this channel, there will be people in the anime community and Christian community who won't agree with what I do on this channel, and that's fine. But this channel wasn't created to appease the anime community or cater to my Christian brothers and sisters. But I made it in hopes that I would reach those people who don't know God, people in the online anime community who aren't interacting with the God of the universe for various different reasons, in hopes that God would use this content to bring people closer to him. I'll end with this. I make niche content on Christian YouTube, on the Christian YouTube space. If you don't like this channel, you don't have to watch it. Like, there are tons of Christian YouTubers on this channel that make their content. There's tons of reactionary channels and Bible study channels. Like, I check out Ruslan, check out Mike Winger, check out Alan Parr, check out What Do You Mean? Like, yes, check out those people. My reason for making this anime channel in the Christian YouTube space is because I don't want to be like every other Christian content creator reacting to Mike Todd videos or doing Bible studies. I want to be about reaching those people that don't know Jesus, who might click on an anime video and me comparing Natsu to how he's, loves his friends and defends his friends and saves his friends, and how we find that in Jesus and how he sacrifices himself for his friends. I want to make videos that I'm interested in. I want to make videos that just so happen to be about Jesus and anime. I believe that all of those things were created to give praise and honor to God. And if I can use anime to pull out things that point people to Christ so that people in the anime community can see Jesus, that's what we rocking out. That's what we're doing. Like, and I don't care. I mean, it may seem like I care because I'm like reacting to this person's comment, but I think it's just something to clarify for, my channel and other Christian anime YouTubers that do this as well. But anyway, that's my rant. If you like this video, make sure you comment, leave your thoughts below. Is anime idolatry? Am I wrong? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. All right, cool. Catch you later.